Hi, everyone. Tanya Hertz here. We're going to be talking about human resource management in entrepreneurial businesses. And we're just going to focus on the difference between an independent contractor or freelancer and a paid contracted employee. So an independent contractor is self-employed. They work for themselves. They produce a specific type of work or a product or a service in a predetermined amount of time. Now, the general rule for being an independent contractor, as opposed to an employee, is that the payer has the right to control only the end result of the work, not what will be done and how it will be done. So you cannot tell them how to do the work. You cannot tell them specifics about when to do the work, what to wear, how much of anything they need to do in order to do it. You just need to tell them this is the end result. So an independent contractor, the reason why we would, as small business owners, rather hire or have workers who are independent contractors is that we then do not need to pay insurance, social security tax. We do not need to go through all of the expensive and time-consuming process of hiring and training and managing these employees. So as an independent contractor, that means that they get to keep all the profit. They are held liable for all the losses of the business. They have to pay their own self-employment tax. They have to pay their own income tax. An independent contractor does not need to be legally able to work in this country as a worker, as an employee. They can use an ITIN, an EIN, to pay taxes and to do work instead of a social security number. And so that's why you do see a lot of independent contractors, maybe immigrant entrepreneurs or people who otherwise couldn't legally work as an employee. Now, when working with an independent contractor under the law, the contracting firm, the client, is not required to withhold taxes then. They're not required to pay unemployment insurance. They're not required to pay into Social Security. They don't have to provide benefits. They don't have to obtain an I-9 form with all the information from the employee. They do not need to inquire about the immigration status because like I said, they're independent contractors. They're responsible for how they get the work done, etc. Independent contractors are not paid W-2 wages, but they receive direct compensation. And at the end of the year, you pay or you provide them with a 1099 form as the hiring client. So you can, as a business, hire, as a business, you can hire employees. So sorry about that. Hire employees, or you can contract with independent persons or other businesses to provide services. But you are responsible as that firm who is working with workers, whether they're independent contractors or employees. You have to determine what their status is. Are they an employee or are they an independent contractor? So you can use common law rules to determine whether or how the worker is classified. So the common law rules are just facts that give you evidence about whether or not somebody is an independent contractor. So the common law rules include behavioral. So does the company control or have the right to control how the worker does the work, what the worker does in his or her job? If you answer yes to that, then likely the employee is an employee and the worker is not an independent contractor. Financially, are the business aspects of the worker's job controlled by the payer? These include things like how the worker's paid, whether expenses are reimbursed, who provides the tools, who provides the supplies, who provides the uniforms. If you provide those kind of things, then chances are they're an employee, not an independent contractor. What's the relationship like? Are there written contracts? Or do you have benefits? Is there a vacation pay? Do you provide detailed instructions on how the employee is supposed to get things done? Those kinds of things make a person an employee and rather than a worker. So the primary differences between a worker being an employee and a worker being an independent contractor. So an employee typically has a continuing relationship with an employer, where an independent contractor might work for many people doing the same kind of job. An employee normally has tools that they get from the employer, where An independent contractor brings his or her own tools. They will often even bring their own assistants and their own other people to work with, partners. So an employee can quit without incurring any of the liability or expenses. Now, an independent contractor is held liable for expenses. If they don't complete a job, they could be held liable for the losses or the debts of that job. An employee has to comply with instructions about how, when to work. They usually receive training, where an independent contractor sets their own hours and they use their own methods, right? So it's important as a new business owner, as an entrepreneur, that you understand that whether you are bringing workers on who are employees or independent contractors, you still need to find the best people possible to help you to succeed. And to grow, we typically need additional people. We can only work for ourselves for so long without eventually needing to be bringing people as much as possible. If you can bring in independent contractors, 1099, obviously that's a lot cheaper, a lot easier, a lot less headache, a lot less cumbersome, but you need to make sure that you're following the law. And you can bring these workers in any number of different ways. You can, you can go through LinkedIn, job referral agencies. You can ask for recommendations, referrals. There's agencies. There's even job fairs. You can go to food or culinary school fairs where they'll often have people who are ready for jobs, ready to go. Just because you're the method of selection and recruitment does not necessarily signify whether the person is the worker is an employee or independent contractor. So a lot of these methods can work for either type of person, and you're going to want to bring in the best people to help you along the way. So there's lots of resources available for you in this chapter, lots about writing press pitches, lots about your sales strategy, putting your business on Google Maps and also Google My Business. And then there's videos in there as well. And I hope this was useful for you. We are going to be providing one other activity probably by the end of next week. And that activity is getting set up as an approved, verified, either minority serving or minority owned institution, women serving or women owned, military serving or military owned. And there's a couple other certifications that we'll show you how to get. And other than that, I hope that was helpful for you. Don't forget to take care of all of the resources that we have available for you, and know the laws. Make sure that you're not breaking the laws. If you do have a food-based business, make sure that the IFC that you're using is an approved IFC, and always check first. All right, talk with you soon.